What's up, everybody? Mr. Forrest back with another episode of God Is. And I'm going to teach you guys a really important word. That word is unique. Unique means one of a kind. Unique means there's nothing like it. And today we're going to talk about the fact that God is unique. There is no one like him. He's one of a kind. He's unique. So it was back in 2007. Now, some of you didn't know this about me, but I used to be a magician. And I remember I wanted an act that fit in a briefcase, that I could put the whole act in a briefcase. I could perform it anytime, anywhere, with no speaking, only performing it to music. And so as I was working on this act, trying to figure out what I would put in it and how I would perform it, what kind of music I would use, I started entering competitions, and I entered the local competitions, and then I decided to enter a regional competition. Now, the regional competition was called the Magicians Alliance of Eastern States, and the competition actually went broader than regional because one Vegas magician flew in to compete, one Chicago magician flew in to compete, and the Vegas magician was as polished of a classical act that I have ever seen. Fantastic act with doves and cards, and he's in a tuxedo and all that cool stuff. The other guy from Chicago did one of the most unique acts I've ever seen, magic with light bulbs. It was super cool. Well, needless to say, I was nervous. No, I wasn't nervous. I was straight up scared. So it was my turn to get on the stage and compete. I don't remember what number I was or anything like that, but I remember getting up there, my music starting, and I started my act with like hat tricks, with my top hat rolls, like it would roll down my arm and then roll back up onto my head. And then I had a cane, and my cane would like flip around my body, and I would do all this kinds of stuff. So I'm doing my hat tricks and stuff, and then I go to do my first cane roll, and my cane drops on the ground. Now, I can't like bend down and pick it up, so I just kept going on with my act. I'm doing my act, and all I could think about in my head was, this is so bad, I'm gonna lose. But I go through my act kind of on autopilot, doing all the moves memorized to the music, and then the way the act ended was I had 4 billiard balls that I made appear and change their colors. Well, then I started making them disappear one at a time. And I just wanted to get off the stage. And I just wanted to be the act to be over. So I went to vanish the last ball, and I dropped it. And it bounced. It took 2 bounces and landed in the front row in Ice McDonald's lap. I was humiliated. I just wanted to get out of there. And when I was done, I picked up my stuff and I went home. And I'm eating dinner, and my wife said, "Are you going back for the award ceremony?" And I said, "No, I'm not going back." And I was just feeling crushed. And my wife said, "You're going to go back, and I'll go with you." And I was like, oh, man. And so we went, and I was sulking through they did an introductory performance, and now they were doing the award ceremony. And I watched as the guy from Vegas won an award for his like polished classical magic act. And then the guy with the light bulbs won an award for the most unique act, and I'm just sitting there like this, and in the darkness, all of a sudden, I feel this oof in my side. My wife elbowed me in the gut, and I was like, what? And she said, get up there. And I look up, and the room was dark, but the spotlight is going like this all around the audience, and the MC is calling my name, and I was like, huh? So I stood to my feet and walked up there, not knowing why I was up there. He handed me a trophy. I shook his hand as people were taking pictures. Then I went back to my seat. When I got back to my seat in the dark, I looked at that trophy and I squinted at the words, and it said, Best Act of Competition. Somehow I won. And then after the evening show, I walked up to a friend of mine and he said, congratulations. And I said, how in the world did I win? He said, are you kidding? It was awesome. I was like, what? I dropped my cane at the beginning. And he said, oh, you mean you weren't supposed to do that? I said, well, I dropped the red ball at the end. He said, You did? It just looked to me like it vanished. It was one of the coolest vanishes I've ever seen. Now, apparently, when I dropped the ball dropped outside of the spotlight. I was only working with a follow spot, so everything around me was dark. It dropped outside the follow spot, took 2 bounces, and the only person who saw it was Ice McDonald when it landed in his lap. Well, people were coming up and talking to me and congratulating me, and an old-time magician named Howie Schwartzman came up to me and he said, "I think Cardini would have liked your act." Now that meant the world to me, because my favorite magician of all time is Cardini, and Cardini died before I was even born. And Howie Schwartzman knew Cardini, and he said, "I like you, kid, and I got something for you." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And a few days later, a package arrived at my house, and inside that package was a photograph of Cardini and a deck of Cardini's own playing cards. Cardini owned these cards, probably in the 1930s. Cardini performed with these cards. It was such an incredible moment, and those cards and that picture hold so much value to me because they are very rare. They are very unique. Monet's painting Pond with Water Lilies is worth $80 million. It's worth so much because of its beauty and because it is so rare. The most expensive coin in the world is the 1794 flowing hair silver copper dollar. It is worth $10 million. It is so valuable because it is so rare. This stamp is worth $9.5 million. It's so valuable because it's so rare. Princess the Bear, the Beanie Baby, is worth $10,000. It is so valuable because it is so rare. Spider-Man made his first appearance in the comic book Amazing Fantasy number 15. If you had one of these comics in pristine condition, it would be worth over $1 million. It is so valuable because it is so rare. But Monet painted other paintings, and there were other 1794 silver copper dollars minted. Many stamps have been made, many Beanie Babies have been named, many comic books have been printed, but there is only one God. There is not 2 gods or 3 gods or 11-7 gods. There is only one God, and he is one of a kind. No one's like him. Nothing's like him. He is, here comes our word, unique. Let's just think about our God Is series so far. God is everywhere. No one else is everywhere. God knows everything. No one else knows everything. God is eternal. He had no beginning. No one else had no beginning. God needs nothing. No one else needs nothing. And God is all powerful. No one else is all powerful. You see, God is unique. He is eternally valuable. He is so wonderful. He is beautiful and glorious and awesome and amazing. He is unique. There is no one like him. And we have a memory verse to help us remember that God is unique.
Yes, I know. I don't believe in dentists either. I think they are a figment of every human's imagination. As if there are men and women in all white who can actually clean your teeth.
There are actually people who can clean your teeth.
Oh, sure. Whatever you say, Jiminy Cricket. I suppose you think toothbrushes are real, too.
Wait, are you telling me you don't brush your teeth?
How can I? Toothbrushes are not real. Duh.
You have issues. Who are you talking to anyway?
I'm in a group video chat with 17 of my cousins.
You mean there's more than one unibrow corn?
Oh yes, there are hundreds of us. We are a rare creature, but there are several of us. Oh, don't mind Slim Jim. He thinks there are such things as toothbrushes and dentists.
Can you just get off the phone? We have to teach the kids our memory verse.
You think phones are real?
You're talking into one right now.
Sure I am. First you think dentists and toothbrushes are real. Then you think phones are real. Now you're gonna tell me chocolate cake is real.
Dentists are real. So are toothbrushes. Phones are real and chocolate cake is real. Now would you just get off the phone?
Whatever you say, imaginary boy. Guys, I have to go. The guy who lives in a world of pretend wants to work on our remembery verse.
Thank you. Our memory verse this week is Exodus 15:11.
Chex Mix geometric progression.
It goes like this. Who is like you, O Lord, among the gods?
Who's a chew sneezing among the frogs?
Who is like you, O Lord, among the gods?
Whose bamboo in my nose has been lodged?
You know what? So that I don't have to argue with you anymore, I'm just going to have some of our friends teach you this song by singing it.
Yay! I love remembery verse songoos.
Who is like you, O Lord among the gods? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in glorious deeds, doing wonders, awesome in glorious deeds, doing wonders. Who is like you, O Lord among the gods? Who is like you, majestic in holiness?
Did you kids get that? Sometimes singing helps us to remember. You can rewind the video and watch it again and again so that you learn the verse by learning the song.
And this verse isn't teaching that there are actually other gods. It's saying that among the imaginary gods, of people who worship pretend gods, none of those imaginary gods are even close to as great as the one true God. You see, there is only one true God, and He is unique. That means He's one of a kind.
You're right.
Not like dentists and toothbrushes, which are obviously pretend.
How can you go from being so right to being so wrong?
Back to you, Mr. Forrest.
What a great song. Guys, that song will help you memorize your verse this week. So sing this song all week long and make sure you say your verse and answer your questions and participate in Epic Bible Fun, and you can get this week's prize. Guys, I had so much fun today learning that God is unique. Don't forget it. I will see you guys next time. But until then, Mr. Forrest, out.